just how good do we think that Deion Sanders might be now that he does not have a generational talent with Travis Hunter and he doesn't have a proven Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year at the very minimum in Shedeur Sanders? What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. If this is your first time watching Adapt and Respond, thank you for joining us here. We talk college football year-round every day. If that's something you're into, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like this video, and answer the question in the comment below. Do you believe that Deion Sanders is going to take a step back in 2025 without Shedeur Sanders, Travis Hunter, and quite a few other really important pieces we'll talk about? I'm also going to add to you guys that there is this video podcast on Spotify, if that's one way in which you want to consume. It's also an audio version on Apple Podcasts. Please go there, follow the shows, leave 5-star reviews. I'm going to come up with some stickers, say Adapt and Respond, try to give those away to people that are subscribing to those shows and or leaving 5-star reviews. Probably going to do a pretty cool giveaway here. As you can see, we're doing a lot of different things here at Adapt and Respond that we've done in the past. We've changed some of the lighting up to reflect just what kind of a late night show this is going to be when we get to college football season. Some of the camera angles you're seeing, and you're going to hear some voices that you haven't heard before. I'm very excited about all of this. As everybody's getting started for a new 2025, especially in the sport of college football, right? We've got a playoff format that is changing once again. We're going to get straight seeds all the way through the 1 through 12s, which is probably going to make it a little bit easier for SEC and Big 10 teams to get in and a lot harder for Big 12 and ACC teams to get in, like the one that Deion Sanders is coaching. We're also looking at revenue sharing, right? While many folks have opinions about whether or not we should have a salary cap, just how much players should get paid, I don't like that conversation one bit because I don't believe that anybody should be able to limit your earning potential. I don't like salary cap in the NFL, in NBA, or they're thinking about doing it in Major League Baseball. You're worth whatever anybody wants to pay you to do the job that you are performing for them. But more importantly, you need a union to have a salary cap, right? You got to have somebody that represents these players full time, and it has at least as much teeth as the NFLPA to negotiate on their behalf with this revenue sharing. Until then, we've got the House versus the NCAA settlement to tell us what the rules are, and those rules are going to be changing, right? With the clearinghouse that Deloitte's got coming in, with the amount of money that's going to be spent on players to have competitive football teams. It's one of those things that Prime has been very clear about. He does not want any players showing up expecting to get a bag. He wants them to show up because they want to develop. They want to be great players. It doesn't make it any different than any other college football coach in America. Many of these guys wish they didn't have to pay anybody at all, and they hate talking about money. I understand that. But Prime has also shown that if you are a talent, he will make every concession that he can to help you get your money and or keep you healthy. Travis Hunter played both ways. Didn't really practice as much as the rest of the team practiced because he didn't need to. Also took tremendous care of his body. So when these deals came along for him, nobody was in his way, right? Nobody's saying what you can or can't do. Shedeur Sanders is a Gatorade athlete at Jackson State, right? People are going, oh, that's because he's Prime's son. No, it's because he could sling the football. That's why. It's because he's a champ in the SWAC, because he was the FCS Jerry Rice Player of the Year, goes to the Outstanding True Freshman at Jackson State, where he turned around at Jackson State that hadn't won anything, that won back-to-back SWAC championships, went to a Colorado that had won 2 games the year before he got there, won 4 his first year, and then won 9 his second. This is after not having an offensive line at all in 2023 and not a great one in 2024, and no run game to speak of in either year, okay? Replacing that kind of production is going to be difficult. It's why you bring in Kaidon Salter. It's why you bring in Julian Lewis. It's also why you're looking around at the wide receiver core going, oh, Jimmy Horn's gone, Will Shepard's gone, Travis Hunter's gone. Those are your 3 top pass catchers from last year. But they got dudes, right? The thing that I worry about with Colorado has nothing to do with their quarterback play or their receivers. I think both Kaidon Salter and Julian Lewis can do the job. I think they're going to develop name brands, if you will, at the wide receiver position. They're going to be better at quarterback in the run game than they've ever been, right? Because Shedeur is just not a natural born runner. It's okay. Kaidon Salter adds that area, and he's got a lot of football underneath his belt. While Julian Lewis is the more talented of the two, we think he'll get an opportunity to show that a little bit sooner than you think. You're also talking about a guy that's put together a staff to try to make up for this talent that he's losing, right? It's Marshall Faulk, it's Warren Sapp, it's Robert Livingston, it's Pat Shermer, and it's Prime. They've got guys to coach him up. And he succeeded in getting all sorts of folks to come through that program and talk to them, from Champ Bailey to Denzel Washington. Those are helping you recruit better players. Those are helping you make up for what you're going to lose. Nobody's going to be able to replace Travis Hunter. Nobody's going to be able to replace Shedeur Sanders. But you can get close to trying to replace their production, especially in 2025. Now, we're going to learn a lot about this program very quickly because they're going to play a Georgia Tech team that I think is pretty good. They also made rings for winning 7 games last year. I don't know that I would have done that. But if it makes you feel good, Georgia Tech, go ahead, right, and do that, right? We're also talking about 2 teams that have won a national championship in the last 40 years. Think about that for a second. And we're talking about Prime, once again, having to prove to other people. I shouldn't say that. Prime doesn't have anything to prove to anybody. There are those that would believe, hey, they're going to take a step back because he doesn't have those generational talents. How do you think he got him in the first place? The man recruited Travis Hunter out of high school. He signed a 5-star to an FCS program and then succeeded in keeping that 5-star, following him at Jackson State, following him at Colorado, and he won the Heisman Trophy. I don't know that there's a better advertisement for playing for Deion Sanders than those 2 guys. They made all this money. They're millionaires before they get to the NFL. One of them is a Heisman Trophy winner. One of them is the Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year. One of them is going to go down in history as one of the greatest college football players of all time, given his production. Like Travis Hunter's on that Lewis Hamilton train of, hey, by metrics, by GOAT statistics, it's him. You know, nobody else has had a 1,000-yard receiving season, multiple INTs, and 10 TDs in the same year. Nobody's come close to what Travis Hunter's been able to do. And what's more, people still didn't want to throw on him. When you are basically running gassers on both sides of the ball, the first thing I want to do is attack you. And when people attacked him, they lost. It was really remarkable to see. So now you're going to have to get, somebody that you think can play the position at corner, somebody you think can play the position of wide receiver. And, oh, look, it feels a lot like what they were doing in 2021 at Jackson State, right? I also think that people aren't willing to give Prime credit for being a good football coach at this point. And that part seems unjust to me. He's done more than enough to demonstrate to you that he is one of the better football coaches in America, full stop. Going to Colorado and turning that into something after Mel Tucker couldn't, after Carl Durrell couldn't, that's tremendous. Who else do you think could do that? Like, we're going to compare Bill Belichick's first year at North Carolina to what Prime did, to which I would say, are they going to go 4-8? They're going to do better. And then after that, is he going to have a Heisman Trophy winner? Is he going to have a first-round draft pick? Are they going to win 9 games? Are they going to finish tied atop the ACC standings when the 2026 ends? These are the ways in which I'm going to look at a Hall of Fame NFL coach and say, does he measure up to Deion Sanders? That's wild, right? But it's also true. Now, as we're getting closer to 2025 season kicking off, we're going to have more conversations about this. But I did want to put this out here because, yeah, he's gone 13-12 the last 2 years, right, with those 2 guys. I'd also argue that they're going to be better on the offensive line than they've ever been. They're going to be better on the defensive line, and they're going to be much more balanced than they've ever been. And that is going to help them, especially as they get deeper into the season. It was clear last year that if Travis Hunter went down, Shedeur could make it happen. But if Shedeur went down, and by that I just mean wasn't able to complete passes, you're going to be up a creek. And all that happened really outside of Shedeur and Travis grew a year. Robert Livingston got the defense to play a little. They got to play a little. That's it. What if they get to be good? What if that is the better part of their game? Look out, man, because then you're not just talking about Colorado being good. You're talking about Colorado contending for a Big 12 championship, and then you're talking about Colorado playing in the college football playoff. Whew.